Should we all go on mute?
It doesn't matter. I mean, if as long as it stays quiet, we're good. If not, then yeah, we'll have to go on the mute. But I'll share my screen. So what I thought we would do today is I just go over using some of those Teal assets, and then if you've got questions, either do them at the end or just put them in the chat, and then we'll get through to them. So I mean, when I look at that package, I can see if I can just open some of it here. Yeah, I mean, so you've got all these assets inside, and then what, the papers are really good because you can do a lot of things with these papers, and that's what I thought I'll show you how to use some of these papers. And actually these are really great for creating printables. So that's what I thought we could start off with. I'll show you how to create some quick printables that you can go put on the Etsy store. Right, so we're in PowerPoint. What I've done for this is 8.5 by 11, but I've made it bleed just so that, because these are going to be printed so people can print hopefully right to the edges, but people can only print to the edges if their printer has borderless printing. Otherwise you're going to get that little white margin around the outside, and there's nothing that we can really do about that. Okay, so the first thing that you would do here, there's two ways to create like a borderless frame. The first one is just to use the shapes. So we've got to insert shapes, and then you want to use this picture border down here, the frame, and you're just going to draw your border. So that's what we start off with. Then this little yellow line at the top will make it go bigger or smaller, so you can adjust the size of the frame. All right, so, and then simply we just want to fill the frame with a picture. So you go find the pictures. And then we're just going to use one of those papers, and it's going to fill. All right, so now you've got a blank page right away there. Now if you want to make this into a line page, we're just going to go insert the table, and then I just like to position it where you want first. Okay. And then if you want to leave the top as a header, we can, and then you can color that to match the paper, and you just use the eyedropper tool and go click on the color that you want. And these we just want to turn into the black lines, and we want no fill for those. All right, so you've got your lines there, and then it's just a matter of just highlight them all and insert below to duplicate the page. And then we can do the same thing again to duplicate all the rows, and then you just adjust them however you like them. So we could just pull that down a little bit here. You could pull this up a little bit. Now if you want the turquoise block a bit bigger, you just simply hit enter to make it a little bit bigger. So this, people could, put the date on there, put the note on there, anything that whatever they would like to do. And then simply you could just duplicate this page, and it's just as easy as going into picture format, change out your picture, and then we can go and, so you can make a whole line of printables really quickly this way. So if we duplicate this one again, and you could pretty much use every single paper if you wanted to. And then you could take this one here, and then you've got the pattern behind it. You could make them bigger if you want to, but then you're going to have to just adjust your table. So you would just click on it, go to the outside, and then pull it in a little bit. So you could do something like that. And then the other thing I wanted to show you is you can add a nice gradient to this header, because if you might find that might be a little bit too bright for people to actually write on. So to do the gradient, they could put your mouse into the block, and then just do right click, and then come down here to format shape. And then what we want to do here is we want to go to the gradient over here. And then, because you'll have preset ones, which these will be determined by the theme that you've set up on PowerPoint. So if you've chosen a purple color, it's going to have the purple gradients in here, but you can actually set your own gradients to match this outside. So actually I'll show it to you on this one here, because you'll be able to see a little bit better. So we click on here, and then we open up the format shape panel here, and then select the gradient. Now you want to come down here to where it says gradient stops. Make sure like you click on the first one so it's highlighted, then come to color, down to your eyedropper, and then we're going to match it to one of the stars in the top. Right, so that's putting the first color in the gradient. Then come to the center one, and do the same thing with the color that's in the middle here. Let's just go a little lighter on that one. And then the last one here, pick a color from the bottom. Okay, and now we can play with all of this. So you can move these, and if you watch the top, you'll see that it's moving the gradient. So you can move it from there, you can pull this one up. So you can create different effects. And then you can make it different again if you come to the type here. And if you go to the radial, it's going to change the gradient again, that in a different direction to the rectangle. Is, you can see it there, it's changed on the top here. And then you can do the path one, that changes it again. And then another way to change it is by using the transparency at the bottom here, and you can just make it lighter. So you could end up with a nice little effect like that. Okay. And then again, if we wanted something to match this page, we can duplicate this one again. And you can just, if you don't want the lines here, we could just remove all these lines. So we remove the rows. You could leave the header in the top or just have a blank page if you wanted to. Some other ideas that you could do in here would just be to use some different shapes. We could make some sticky notes in here. Again, people could write on those. And then again, we could fill them with that gradient if you wanted to. And this one, I would just make it a lot lighter. All right, so you could do something like that. But if that's still too dark, what we can do is just insert. So we can duplicate this shape. So we'll just Control C and then Control V to duplicate it. Put this, make this just a little bit smaller. And then we're just going to fill that with white. So then they could actually, you know, write on this part, but you've got the border on the outside. Again, you use the little yellow handle to make the page curl larger or smaller. Right, so that's some different things that you can do there. So does anybody have any questions on that? No, we're good? Okay. So you can see how easy you can easily make, like if we're selling printables on somewhere like Etsy, you can make a whole set in 10 minutes. Just line pages, blank pages. You don't have to get into anything fancy, and you can start stocking up your store that way. Let's see if we've got any questions here. Okay, perfect. And then you can use different shapes again. You could, you know, we could insert, let's see, we could insert a heart shape if you wanted to. Same thing like this, and then just fill it with the different colors that we've using from the template again. If you wanted the gradient, we could put the gradient in there as well. Right, so that's one idea of what we could do with the with that set. And then she's got, what else has she got in the set here? We'll have a look. So you've got the papers in here, then she's got the buttons and the clasp. Well, that's for the more of the digital planners, so we can use those too. So what you can do is we can go and just, I can show you how to use the covers here to set up your digital planner. So what we just do is start up a new presentation and then go to design and then the custom size. And we want 11, I'll just do a OneNotes one, 11 by 7 for OneNote. And then you can just remove all of this. And then we can just go and insert the interior cover. So you just pretty much pull it in and then just size it to the page. So you just want to make sure that you're leaving room for some tabs to fit down the side. So we can do it like that. And now these are really nice. What I like about these ones is that she's already got the shadows in here, so we don't have to go in and add all the shadow effects ourselves. And she's got the center page pretty much lined up where it should be. We just kind of pull it over a little bit. So we don't have to worry about all the effects and the shadows, which is really nice. And again, if you wanted to put a background behind this, then you could just go to design, format your background, and again, you can either do a color. I'll just put a color in so you can see it. So you can have the color behind it. You can change that to a picture, a texture. So we could put, you know, one of the papers behind it, but that might be a little bit too much. It all depends on the effect that you're looking to get. We can put, yeah, there's textures in here. So you could put something like that in there, or you can just do a pattern fill. And we can change the colors that we want them to, and just put a pattern behind it. So you can do all kinds of different things like that to make your planner look a little different. Okay, I'll just leave it blank for now, just so we can see a little better at the back. So then the next thing you want to do is, she's got some, oops, I'm gonna go find them here. The coils, I believe they're, oh, right here. So she's got some coils that are already done for us as well. Right. So now for this one, we want to have the double, one of the double hold ones here. We'll just, so it's a matter of just pulling it in, and then you just line it up. And again, if you wanted to, like that looks nice color-wise, but if you wanted to have a different color, then you just come up to the picture format at the top, over here to the color, and then you can change it if you wanted gray set scale here. But you can also come down to more variations, go to your eyedropper, and then if you wanted it to match the blue. So you can do things like that as well. You can also add different effects on top by the artistic effects. So we could actually change it there. Yeah, the watercolor sponge, that's kind of nice. It gives a little, just a little different effect to the coil, makes yours just look a little differently. So you could do something like that as well. And then the next thing pretty much you want to do is we want to insert the white pages. So we use the rectangle tool again. And we're just going to draw the page in here. And then you just want to line up. Again, we're trying to keep in mind that we're going to put tabs in here too. So you just, I usually try and line up so that the top edge here just comes to the dotted line. And then we're just going to go to the shape fill. Oops, we want white, not no fill. So we want a white shape, and we don't want any outline. So no outline. And then we're just going to line it up so it comes a little closer to the spine here. And now this is where we can put some shape effects on it. So you can just put a shadow, and we want to go offset left on this side, I believe it is, so that you get the shadow effect here. And again, if you, sometimes it's easy to come over to the format shape panel, and then you can play with the size of the shadow effect. And sometimes the blur is nice to use. It gives a little softer effect. So you would do that there. And now we need the page to go behind the coil. So all we're going to do here is just come up to send backwards and push it backwards. And now you can see that it went behind the coil. Right. Now we just need to move it a little bit, because if we look, the top and the bottom isn't quite lining up properly. So I'm just going to pull that down a little bit here, but I'm also going to make this coil just a little smaller, I think, so it comes onto the page like that. Okay, so once you have it set where you want it, then you're pretty much just going to do Control C and Control V to copy and paste it, and then just pull it over. So we're going to line it up again, get it as close as we can. And then again, you're just going to go to the format shape and send it to the back. Just scoot it over just a tad. Sometimes when you need it to move just a little bit, sometimes it's easy just to use the arrows on the keyboard instead. And you can move. Okay. So what I would do is I would just get this one nice page set up how I want it before I start doing anything else. And then, because after you've done that, all you're going to do is copy and paste it. And then you're going to put, if you want to put, you know, your boxes in to make the weekly planner or things like that, then we can start doing that from once we have this set in place. Now, the only thing we need to do here is just change that shape effect. So we want to go to the shadow, and we want to change it to the right on this one. So the shadow comes out on this side here. Okay, so do we have any questions on that, or you want me to go through anything else? Okay, so Gail is saying for those on a PC, you can duplicate objects by holding Control and drag into the desired. Yes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, every program is a little differently. You can actually do, I believe it's a Control and D, and that will actually duplicate the page. And I know when I'm using Photoshop or this Affinity, it's Control J will also duplicate the page. So there's lots of different ways to do it. And then yes, to keep the alignment so it goes over perfectly is Control Shift, and then you just drag it over, or use the arrow keys. I've done that too, just so that you know it scoots across the page in perfect alignment. Okay, so thank you for that. All right, so that's how we can do that one. And then if you wanted to, we can do the cover page. So we just do a new slide. Oops, just get rid of all of this. And then we can just insert one of her covers. Just take the plain cover. We just insert that here, and then we're just going to move it to the side of the page. So she makes it really easy again to get the covers done. And she's got, like I said, all the shadows and the effects are on it, so we don't have to worry about that. So now this is just one of the plain covers. Again, we can go back in now and we can go and put on our own button on it. So she's got the clasps in here. So we can come in and put in a clasp and then just line it up. And I find if you just want to scoot it just so it's just over the edge, so it looks like it's wrapping behind the cover on that one. And then the next thing we would just do is come up here and go find some buttons. And let's pick that button here. And then it's just resizing it however, whatever size that you like on here. Okay. So then of course this page would come underneath. So now we'd have the cover page, and then this would be the first insert for the journal in here. And then one thing I found too, because if you want to just save this cover, if you're giving it out to people on Etsy in a little package where they just have that PNG file, what you need to do is you have to highlight each element, and we have to group them together. So you want to click on the first one, hold your shift key, click on the second, click on the outside cover, do a right click and group it all together. And then we want to save it as a picture. And we're going to go save it, give it a name. Oops. And then make sure that it's the PNG. So then you save it. Let's go find it on the desktop. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. So when we open it, it's just, you've just got the cover. So that's how you give those individual covers out to your customers. So, right, because if you were just, if you save this slide, what will happen is you're going to get, the image is going to be bigger, and you actually see the outline of the page on it as well. Actually, I can do it for you just to show you. Just save. Go find that one. And then you'll see, you can see in the thumbnail, you can see the other side of the page already. And then what I found is the image is going to be bigger, and when you put this on something else, like if you put this onto Etsy or a website, you're going to see the other outline of the image. So you want to make sure that you just save that part of the image. Okay, so that's that part. And then here too, if we were going to do this for a good notes, you'd want to do the tabs. And again, that's just as easy as just going to the shape. For these, I usually take the rounded rectangle shape here, and you just draw your tab. And then again, you're just going to fill it to match if you want the blue. Do no outline. And on this one too, what I find, you just put like a bevel effect on it. It gives it a little rounded look if you like to, or you can keep it flat. You know, you have to go play with all the shape effects to see what you find that works better for you. And then let's go back and change the color. And then you just drag it over to where you want it positioned. So you just want it hanging over a little bit. And then again, we're going to go to the send back. Okay, and then it pops under the page. Right, now if you want to, again, if you want to duplicate this, so we duplicate it, pull it down. Again, we can change the color. We can make this one yellow. And then it's send back and send back. Right? And you would just continue that all the way down. We just have to line it up a little bit more. Okay, and if you want to put the effect on there too. Yeah, so then you've got the tabs like that. Okay, so if that helps you there. So is there any questions on that so far? Okay, and then and to link, I can just, so to link it, you just do the right click. We've got to find where it is now. Link, then it comes up to link. And we have to create the page. Okay, then you want to insert, insert our link. And then you choose, when the box comes up, place in this document, and then you can just choose your slide. So we can just say we want to go to slide 1, and what's nice in here, it will preview the slide, because sometimes if you've got a lot of tabs, you might get lost as to which tab goes where. So you can just see if that's the correct one, and you just say yes, okay, and now it's linked. And then what I actually like to do is you can create, just duplicate this. We can create an index page. So if you're familiar with the digital planners, on that first page, like the home page, you'll have, you know, all the, it's like an index. It just has either images or labels. And then what's nice about that is that we color coordinate the label to the tab. So what we do here is we insert our shape. So we can insert the rectangle here. If you were just doing a basic page, and then we're going to just fill it. Right, and then this would just be weekly to-dos. Right, so now we know that this tab here is going to match onto the weekly to-dos, but then we can copy and paste it and then bring it down to the yellow tab, fill it with yellow, change the name. If this was going to be our sticker page, we can put the sticker page there. So when we come to do the linking, let me just edit this link. And then we can just make sure that it goes to here. Okay. Let's do that again. So we're going to link this one here, insert the link, and we want to go to slide 1, right? And then you would just link it to wherever you want it to go. Okay, and then another feature that the digital planners have, they have like a little home button. So again, that can just be a shape, it can be an icon, an image. So we could have like a little heart up here. And this would be like our home button, and this would link back to the cover page. So every time they click on this link, it's going to take them over to the cover page, so they can always get back to the beginning. And then you put this heart, you know, you could make this a lot smaller, but you could have it on, you know, put it on several pages, or you could make this into a tab so it's visible at the top, and then they can click on this and go back to, you know, the beginning of the digital planner. Okay. So if there's anything, any questions, comments, questions, let me check the chat box. Okay. Okay. And then something else that is neat to do with the planners. Oh, I just see a question coming in. Okay. Okay, I'm glad you find it helpful. Okay. And something else that is neat to do is like you just start a regular slide and just get rid of all of this. And we're just going to insert the picture. Let's go find one of the papers. So what you do is you insert your image, and then we come up to design. And then if you have this design ideas, you have to allow PowerPoint to show you this. But if you click on design ideas, what it does, it generates different ideas for you from the image or the pattern, or if you put a photograph in here, it's just taking a little while, but it's going to come up with different variations. Okay, that one didn't work. I'll show you something else. We're going to insert a picture. Okay, let's go find a picture quickly. Oh, should we choose? Okay, let's just choose this picture. Okay, so then it will come up with these different design ideas. And this is neat. So if you click on them, it's going to give you the different formats of different things you could do with this image. And some of these aren't bad. Like you could actually use them for things like Pinterest or making social media images, even if you're trying to come up with a book cover idea. So there's different things that you can do here. I'll show you another one. I did one, it was different before. Okay, so let's say we pick this one here. No, that one didn't do it either. It doesn't always pick the different designs, but when it works quite nicely. See if it does it from that one. Okay, so from this simple image that we put in here, in here, then you've got things like the one with the circle around it. So you could, then you can just go in and play with it here if you wanted to as well. It gives you this effect here. But it's just something that you can play with because you can get some different effects. And then if you wanted to put, a quote on top, and then you could save this for social media. It's just some little things that I wanted to show you there. And go back to the planner. Okay, so pretty much that's what I was going to show you today. So if you have any questions, comments, or any other questions about anything else, if you're doing the course, do you have any questions about that for me? Want me to show you something else? Check the chat here. Yes, okay, I'll show you how to change the color scheme of the templates. Okay, so when you want to change the color scheme, you come up to design at the top here, and then under variants, you click this drop down, go to colors, and then you can see these are the standard PowerPoint colors. So now as we go through it, if you watch the tabs, they're going to change colors on you. Right, so you've got the orange there, and then if you had the pink and purple, right? But when you change the colors, the only elements in your presentation that are going to change are the pieces that were created inside PowerPoint. The minute someone starts using custom, like this is a background image, and anything that's customized, it's not going to change the color. So here, you know, so you can just go through and change all the different colors. So if you wanted the pink, you know, and then, so now when we come and duplicate this tab again, bring it down. And then when we go to the shape format to fill it, now you'll see that we've got lots of different color combinations over here. So we could go to the purple if we wanted. And then again, just send it backwards. So it goes behind the paper. Okay. So now if you had, say if we had this cover image, and you wanted to change the color, so what you do is highlight it, come up to picture format, and then you have this color box, and it gives you different options here, but it's you can see how it changes. It doesn't change in the same way. Like some of them, sometimes they don't look too bad. And then again, you can go down and pick your different color if you wanted to. But the other thing that sometimes you can do in here, it depends, again, this one isn't allowing us to do it, but you can play with the artistic effects to get the different effects on it. Let's just ungroup this for a minute. So I'll see now if on this tab, yeah, so now on this tab, because I've ungrouped everything, so on this clasp here, now we have artistic effects available. So you can make changes with that. Let's do, so you can actually turn it into the gray. So you could have an effect like that, the pencil effect. Then you've got the film grain. So you can see, so you could change something in that way as well. And again, you can play with transparency to change the color a little bit if you wanted it to lighten up. And then again, you've got the colors. Now we can just change the color of the clasp. So you could do that with a gray. So if you wanted to go with gray, you could do that as well. Well, if you have, we have a few more minutes. If you have any more questions, Gail, it's quite all right with me. Now, just trying to give you some ideas of things to do, and especially, you know, like you said, if you buy this, so you could actually, so what you could do with this now is, you know, if you've got like some of my simple templates, you could actually bring those over into this and use those as inserts. The easiest thing to do for that, though, because again, the OneNote size isn't too bad because it's 11 by 7. So if you're going from a 6 by 9 to 11 by 7, you probably can get everything to come in without having to do lots and lots of manipulation. But if we're going to make this, if this was a digital journal for GoodNotes at 29 by 20 inches, to try and use something that's 8.5 inches, I find it's too much work. So what I found was, then I would just open up whatever template you want to use in regular PowerPoint and go in there and edit it, do all the changes, make it however you want, and then save it as, probably save it as a PNG file because you don't want a background in it. And then you come and insert that on your page in here as a PNG file, right? So that's the easiest workaround that we found so far using, like going from the digital planner size from the regular PowerPoint size that we were using before. Yeah, because I've tried copy and pasting from one, like my homesteading journal. I try to copy and paste that into a digital planner, and it's a nightmare. These already take long enough to do without going through all of that as well. For those sizes of planners, it depends on the purpose. Like if you're publishing a KDP, again, it depends on the niche, but you're going to look at the 6 by 9s, 8 by 10s, and 8.5 by 11s. For OneNote, if you're going to get into those planners, they are 11 by 7. And then the thing with the OneNote is you don't put the tabs in it. You have to actually do the tabs when you're over in OneNote, which I'm still figuring all of that out as well. And then when we get to the digital planners for iPads, the Good Notes Notability, you are looking at 29 inches by 20 inches for those. So it all depends on, you know, if you're creating just for KDP, then you just worry about the regular sizes. But if you want to do the digital planners, then, you know, obviously you go for those. If you're just doing printables, I would just stick with the 8.5 by 11, or if you want to do the A4 sizes, you can as well, like the different sizes, because I know in Europe they like the different sizes over there. But again, too, I was looking it up this morning, and a lot of, like, even if you give them an 8.5 by 11 inch, they can change the size on their printer instead of giving them out all these different sizes. So it all depends on which way that you want to go with that. And then, yeah, so again, you know, so with these printables too, once you're done with it, you just pretty much save it as a PDF, and they're ready to go and upload. You know, I would put in a lot of people will put the URL on the bottom of the printable, or you can put it on the first page, the last page, with, of course, you know, your Etsy shop name again and the link to your Etsy shop. You can also, on that last page in there, you can put some kind of incentive to either leave your review and come over to your website and join your mailing list, because that's the only downside with Etsy, is getting people onto your mailing list. You can't do it automatically. Okay. What is most popular size, the planner, and the popularity of digital to printable versus offering as a PDF? Again, I think a lot of it comes down to how people want to use them. So, I mean, it depends. Like, most people here and you know, in the group are looking to sell them. So for that, you know, it depends. Are you selling on Amazon? Are you going to start having a Shopify store, Etsy store, sell from your own website? You know, and then so then you know, if you're selling on Etsy, I'm trying to do a bit of everything. But honestly, the digital planners, they're just taking a lot of time to put together. There's a lot of work to put together, so, you know, it depends on how much time you want. But if you want to get your store stocked, you know, you can start putting out printables, which is what I'm going to focus on a little bit first. I think you just get a lot of packs of printables out there, because again, I think I mentioned that last time. If you've got these printables at 8.5 by 11, you could also include it in your when you sell it to your customer, give them the PDF, but then you can also save it as a PNG file and call that a digital insert. And then they can insert this page up into GoodNotes, into their planners, and then just rearrange wherever they want the pages. So that, I think, is almost something that I'm looking at going down that road, because I just think it's going to be easier to create than, you know, all these digital stuffs and the link in it. It takes a long time. And so, and yeah, you know, unless we do find a way that I can take, like, say, some of my old, or not my old, but the stuff in the store, those planners, and just easily convert them over to digital planners. You know, like right now, I have a girl that does it for me, and it's time consuming and expensive. So, yeah, so you just have to think of, you know, which one, you know, if you just start an Etsy store, like, does everybody just start an Etsy store? Do you have an Etsy store already? Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So if you're new to Etsy, we're just starting out, like my store, I'm just starting to put more time into the store. So I'm thinking I'm just going to put printables up there just to get some stock in the store. And then we can see, I've got a couple of digital planners in there, but what has sold for me is the digital covers, actually. I've been putting packs together in different colors and different designs, and they have been selling for me. Yeah, and again, too, like Catherine's saying, you've got one store for your physical planners and then another one for the digital planners. So yeah, I mean, from what, again, you know, you can have your store how you like, but it seems to be people are just offering either, like you said, printable ones or digital versions, and not mix it up in the same store. And now I've seen some people saying that they're even theming their stores more, so that it's not just general. It's more like a niche store with printables or planners all around that one niche. So it depends on how much you can think of to come up in that same niche. But again, once you've got a template like this, I mean, you could create hundreds, because it's just a matter of going in and changing the background, and you can go to all kinds of places and get the papers or the different designs. You just got to make sure that when you put them in, they don't look stretched. That's the only thing I found. Sometimes some images will look too stretched or warped when you put them in as a background. So you just have to watch that. But you could easily sit here and just duplicate this page, change out the background, and create, 50 in a day would be no problem at all. And I know if you have, if you go to Creative Fabrica, they've got a lot of just search backgrounds or even scrapbooking stuff. If you go to scrapbooking and search some of that stuff, you'll find some nice images or designs and backgrounds, papers to use. Yes, the package is still available and the coupon that I gave you, I think it's Sue Saves 20, is still, it's still there. Yeah, I have that monthly subscription when it was on for like under $10, and yeah, you can go download as much as you want. So that's good. And then you can go, like I said, to even some of the stock images sites, Pixabay and some other places, and get background images, cover images, and again, if you use inside PowerPoint, the artistic effects and the transparency, you can change up the look of your cover images too. Like if you use the photos to make them a little bit different. And then, yeah, and the other thing I wanted to mention, because I know last time we were talking about having a Facebook group for like printables and Etsy. So I put one together. So if you want to come and join, the link is right here. And that's going to focus on Etsy, printables, and digital stuff. Okay. Okay, so we have a few minutes left if you have any more questions, or if not, we'll go and enjoy some sunshine. Okay. Did any of you pick up that affinity training? Yeah, how are you liking it so far? Yeah, if you want to talk, you can just unmute yourself if you want to. Yeah. Oh, for selling.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it yet, but I just got it yesterday.
Okay. Yeah.
So, is that her daughter?
That's her daughter. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought so, because they have the same name. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's her daughter. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, she gave me access a couple of days ago, so I went through, because I was looking for any issues for them. I was the guinea pig and tested it out.
Oh.
So I, there was a couple of little things that didn't make sense, and that's why I did that. My bonus was that cheat sheet, because I thought instead of having to go back to the videos and every time what were the angles she used, what was this, I just put it all in that PDF for you, so that you can just, if you bought it through me, then you get that.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean,
but I haven't gone back to Navy Zoo or so, whatever it is, to get it yet. So
yeah,
I haven't looked at it. So
okay.
But I wanted to get it before it went off. So
yeah, well, I think it's on till the end of the month. I think you had it, so you have time there.
But still, I forget about it, and then it's too late.
Exactly. Well, it's still in my email, so right now I've still got it in there too. Yeah, I'll find you. My Etsy store name is Createful Printables.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm still rebranding and redoing it. So there's some old stuff in there. The newer stuff is the digital planners, and then, but I want to put some totally different stuff in there too. So that's all. It's all an experiment, because I'm not a pro at Etsy either. I'm just trying to get some more sales going on there too.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes. So yes, to do the insert. So okay. So Gail was asked about the inserts. Yes. After you've created the insert, then you go back and save each one separately as a PNG file. Or I'm not sure, you have to try both PNG or JPEG. Now to do that from PowerPoint, it's just File, and then you save as.
Right.
And then obviously where you want to save it. And then at the bottom here, then you just change the format here. So you'd go to JPEG or the PNG. And then once you do that, it's going to ask you, it'll pop up here. All slides are just this one. So if you're doing all of them, just do all, and it'll put them all inside a folder for you as a PNG version.
Oh, and they'll all be separate?
They'll all be separate, yes.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so that's the quick way to do it from PowerPoint. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry, Sue, I have to run. This has been fabulous. Thank you. So
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm glad you came.
See you again.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Thanks. Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye. Yeah, no, you can save them as a PDF too, but I'm just thinking for going into GoodNotes, it might be easier for them just to put it in as an image.
Okay.
Like I have, again, it's something, because I only have an iPhone. I don't have an iPad to go test it. So it's something, again, like if anyone has an iPad, they can go test it and let us know what is better. But from the research I've been doing, I was following this big lady that she does a lot of printables. And that's how she was saying to take some of her printables to get them as into digital versions. So this would apply more to like just the regular 8.5 by 11 inch ones.
Mm-hmm.
So she was saying just to save it as a JPEG or PNG, and then, people can insert them, and then they can insert the ones that they want. Because if you do the PDF, it's going to insert all of them.
Oh.
So individual, so it's like a sticker. With a sticker, we give out 100 stickers, but they're all individual, so they can go pick. If they only want 10, they can just import 10 instead of having to put all 100, because obviously it's taking up space the minute you upload all of that too. So it's something that we have to test and see. But from what I've been reading, that's what people were saying, is to just save them as an image, because then they can shrink down and they're still going to look good inside a planner without you having to go create that digital planner page size instead. Yeah.
Are you going to do these Zoom calls like once a week or once every other week, or?
Yeah, as long as people show up and there's stuff to talk about, then I
like it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've tried before, but like I said, just lately, again, I don't want to speak too loud, but the internet's been good.
Oh, yeah, right.
At one point, I couldn't even get on Zoom. It was just crazy. But I'm thinking maybe they've gone and fixed some stuff with everything going on and a lot more people being on the internet. I think they had no choice but to try and improve the service a bit. So
yeah. Did you upgrade it to 5.0? Because that's the newest one, the Zoom.
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, because they gave me a waiting room and all this fancy stuff. I had to figure it all out the other day.
Sue, in the Affinity setup, will you be able to use our PowerPoint templates in there? All the PowerPoint templates we have on our hard drive.
I'd have to try it. Honestly, don't. Again, you may have to insert them as a picture.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking. Again, or you go recreate all of this inside of Affinity, but then you don't really want to do that. I'm thinking it's probably easier just to create the background pages like we did here, and then just insert as a picture, your regular templates that we already have.
Right. I'm going to get the training at the end of the month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's helpful, and she does, I find she goes a little fast through some of the things, but again, I did put that PDF together, and if things change, because I've got the PDF, I can just update the PDF, and then you can go back and download it again.
Okay.
Yeah. But it seems, compared to Photoshop, when I first opened Photoshop, the publisher seems a lot easier, and even though I think it's the Infinity Photo, I was trying to use that one. And that was I was getting lost. And then when I saw the publisher one, I hadn't even opened it. And I went and I was able to start clue in a lot quicker on that one.
Start with the publisher first. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So they do the 90-day trial. or it's on sale for 50% off. And
Yeah, I
think-
got it already for 50%
Yeah.
off. All of them. Yeah. All
Yeah.
three.
What's the total price on that?
I think I paid $30 or approximately
Really?
and it's a one-time payment. I think it was 30 or 33. I can't remember now.
Wow, I'm
What-
getting rid of Photoshop.
Well, yeah. Well, I did cancel Photoshop, but then when I went through the cancellation thing, they gave me a really good price to keep it. So I figured, okay, I'll keep it for now. But then I saw the free trial, and then I thought, well, you know what? For $30, I'm buying it. So I went in and bought it too.
Okay.
And I'm thinking for covers and stuff, it's going to be, because if you want to get that nicer quality, or and again too, you can make your master file inside of there, and then it's just a matter of going in and changing out the images, and then you're done.
I was reading that it takes sort of the procedures of Photoshop and PowerPoint and sort of combines them. So in that respect, it would be a time saver also.
Yeah.
So my daughter's very interested, and I was going to point her to one of your groups. Which would be a group that she could come into without buying the before she buys the product through you?
Is she interested in the digital and Etsy stuff? Is that where she wants to go?
She just wants to start off with looking at making planners or whatever. She's also interested in sort of wedding planners.
Okay. It does, either the new one that I just gave you, that's going to be new. If she wants to come into the new one, that's fine. Or the other one that I have on Facebook, I can go get that link.
The reseller?
Yeah,
one?
yeah. She can come in there
Okay.
too.
All right, I'll invite her in both of them. And,
Yeah.
we can get
Invite her
going.
in, and just she can. I think where it asks you how did you find the group, just put your name in there as reference, so then I know she's coming through you. So that's not a problem or anything.
Okay, not a problem.
Okay. Okay. Whoops.
Okay, I gotta run. I'll thank you very much, and I'll talk to you later another time.
Okay. Thank you for coming.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Well, we're almost at the top of the hour anyway. So
Yeah.
unless anyone else has any other questions, and yeah, we'll set up another one. I mean, so if you join the new Facebook group, if you put down what you're interested in me doing something on, so then it's easier if I can prepare a little bit ahead of time, so I know what we're going to discuss. Yeah, I'm happy to do these.
Good, because I like it.
Yeah. Either maybe once every other week, especially with summer coming, stuff like that. But we'll get some in there.
Okay,
For
good.
sure. Okay. Okay. So, do we have any other questions? I know we're good.
I think we're good. Well, I'm good.
Okay. Okay.
Looks like nobody.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, thank you all for coming. It was really fun to do this, and we will be doing it again. And I'll get the recording, and I'll put the recording in the Facebook group as well.
Good. Okay.
All right. So thanks.
You have a nice weekend.
Yeah. You too.